In the meantime, for the average Israeli, the new Israel-UAE normalization boasts some incredible opportunities, one of which is direct flights to the United Arab Emirates from Tel Aviv and through Saudi airspace, no less. But while opening up the airways is a good thing overall, it puts Israeli national airliner El Al in an even tougher spot than it already was. Financially struggling since before the now ongoing coronavirus pandemic, El Al is currently trying to negotiate its future between multiple potential buyers and a government bailout. But now the struggling carrier must also compete with expanding travel routes as the Emirati Etihad Airways opens ticket sales to Israeli citizens. This means indirect but competitive and attractive flights from Tel Aviv to destinations all over the world, including in the Middle East, Asia, and Australia. And Emirates Airlines, consistently ranked among the best in the world, will likely open up to Israelis in the coming weeks as well, putting El Al in a very difficult position and poising to take a large share of the Israeli travel market. Now, this game may have been invented in North America about 400 years ago, but it's only now starting to get really big here in Israel. I'm talking about lacrosse, which is making its way to the Holy Land primarily through the slow and steady efforts of visionary American Jewish immigrants. And here now to tell us all about Israel's national participation is Seth Mahler, the captain of the Israeli senior lacrosse team. Seth, I'm so excited to talk about this. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for having us. Glad to be here.
All right. So, first of all, how did you get into lacrosse?
I first started when I was a kid, maybe 12 or 13. I picked it up from my cousins who played. They were all older than me. They grew up in Baltimore, which is a hotbed of lacrosse in the States, and that's kind of my first go at it.
And so how did you manage to maybe bring it over to Israel or to get more Israelis involved?
Yeah, so I made my way to Israel first time on Taglit and my senior year of college, and then a few years later came back through and with Israel Lacrosse to kind of start this whole thing from the ground floor up, and 7 years later, here we are.
So what's maybe your favorite thing about the game in general and your favorite thing about playing it in Israel?
My favorite thing about the game is it combines all different sports: soccer, basketball, hockey, football, and it's very fun, it's aggressive, and it's just a combination of everything. And I think that's why Israelis are taking to it as well.
It fits the culture.
Yeah, and the reason why I love playing it here in Israel is because it's sunny all year round.
That's a very good reason to play pretty much most games here. So, what tournaments, what's the state of Israeli lacrosse?
We start with the youth. Dor Atid is our main mission here to grow the next generation. So we've got youth players from Beersheva up to Netanya. We've got about 1,000 boys and girls that own their own equipment and come to practices multiple times a week. And there's many people just like myself who have come over to Israel on trips and programs to give back to that community and kind of teach the next generation as well.
And then, I understand you have like a special program where professional lacrosse players come to Israel?
We have a Masa program this year, a gap year for college students, student athletes to come to Israel and kind of keep their knives sharp per se. Take their classes online as universities are kind of in a whirlwind right now, and we have a unique opportunity over here.
Take advantage if you can. Huh?
Yeah.
And then, what are they doing while they're here? They're just going to be playing, or are they going to be maybe working with some of the youth programs you just
It'll be a little bit of everything. They'll train, they'll play. We'll see what the schools are doing here to see if we can get into them and do some youth development. And we'll also tour them around Israel and enjoy everything that beautiful country has to offer.
All right, well, the game sounds amazing, and good luck in the coming tournaments. Seth, thanks so much for coming to tell us all about it.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.